brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter with you on your Friday morning. I am back, kind of. I'm going to be here for about half the show, and then I got to take my dog back to the vet. Yes, that's right. If you're waiting for a Betty update, if you hadn't had enough on Facebook and on Instagram, she is doing okay. She is just in a lot of pain still, so she's not really walking very well, which is to be expected, but at this point, she should probably be getting up on her own and walking a little bit, even though she just had both knees replaced.
But she doesn't want to.
She doesn't want it. She's a big old suck. And we put her in the kennel, this big kennel that we have, big cage kennel, but it's very awkward to try to lift her out of there, so I think when we get back today, we'll put her on a bed and just kind of, you only really have to keep her in the kennel if she's not under direct supervision. So for those of you who don't know what a TPLO is, that's right. It's a tibial plateau leveling osteotomy. And they did both knees. They were going to go in and do one, and then when they examined her, they were like, you know what? There's tearing in this other one. We might as well just do both, which we talked about before, is a hell of a lot cheaper than doing one at a time.
Right.
Still, nice kick to the nuts to my wallet. To our wallet, I should say.
So did you get her skateboard?
Yeah, got her skateboard. No,
Nice.
We're not doing that.
Oh.
We're not doing the little thing. But basically what they do is they cut through the tibia, the lower bone, slice it right through, move it down, and then put a plate on it. They basically reposition the entire knee so that the top of her knee goes into a different kind of... Anyway, it sucks. It really sucks.
At least when she's fully healed, when she delivers
6
running
months.
knee strikes now, they're going to be so devastating.
Oh my God, right in the solar plexus, buddy.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler Lekter with you, and just like a heavyweight boxer wearing a 40-pound suit of armor to the fight, I'm exhausted before the day's even begun.
It's good to have you back.
Thanks, buddy.
That
it was
voice, that shrill, disagreeable voice. It's Jesse.
a long week. For those who don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, took Betty, my pup, down for the TPLO surgery on Sunday. She had it on Monday, but we went on Sunday because that's when the flight was available. So she went in on Monday morning, and they examined the knee, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's torn for sure, because you just got to do a consult before surgery, right? So
Right.
kind of just confirmed what we already knew, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's torn, that's great. I mean, I was kind of half hoping that they'd go in and be like, it's not as torn as bad as we thought.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's
What
nothing
are
wrong
you
with
doing
it.
here?
What the hell are you doing here? Why are you wasting my time?
Go home.
Get out of here. So they found the first one was that one that we expected was torn, and then he took a look at the X-rays. He came back and he's like, it's kind of looking like there's some fluid in the right one as well, so that one's probably tearing as well. So what I'm gonna get you to do, I'm gonna get you to sign this consent, and we'll if we find that it's torn, we'll go for it.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, might as well. I mean, and like I said before, it's like it was like $4,200 for the one knee, right?
Yeah.
So I was expecting that. But like the biggest risk for these dogs afterwards is that they just tear the other one anyway.
Yeah.
So I made a joke, a couple weeks ago that like, can we just do both of them anyway?
Yeah,
Let's just do
BOGO
both.
deal.
Right? Might as well just snap the other one. And then it, came to fruition. But it's better than having to do one at a time and do $4,400 and $4,400 and
Yeah.
traveling both times. So
Absolutely.
did both, but it does make the recovery that much harder.
Yeah.
So she's got 2 big, incisions in her knees. It's reconstructive surgery. I didn't realize how intense it was until he explained it to me. Like I kind of looked it up and I was like, okay, I know I did look it up, and I knew it was going to be pretty invasive, but like to have both of them done at the same time, like my poor pup is just kind of beside herself. She's not eliminating properly yet. Like she pees, but she'll like she pees when we kind of get her up, but she's not really walking very well yet. So this is why we're going to the vet this morning, because we may need to augment her pain meds a little bit. I don't want to juice her up, but I mean, if it means that she can, get up and walk a little bit and like squat to pee and poo,
Yeah.
great. Because
Yeah.
if she can't position properly, then she can't eliminate properly. So it's been a stressful couple days since we've been back as well, or since I've been back. And again, if you don't follow us on Facebook, you don't know that we've moved the bed into the living room to be closer to her, because we were going to move her into the bedroom, but the crate doesn't fit through the hallway. We got her a big old crate.
Oh, yeah.
We got her a crate for like a friggin' Irish wolfhound. So she's got a lot of room in there, enough room to move, enough room to kind of stretch out, because she still does stretch. She's just, I think a lot of it, the vet techs at the Guardian down at Edmonton said that like her pain or like her yowling that she does when she gets up, a lot of it's kind of demonstrative. It's kind of like she doesn't know what's going on, so she's just like, I'm in pain, but also like I can't do what I'm normally used to doing, so I'm just going to yowl and yowl and yowl until you leave me alone, basically.
Right.
And it's kind of what we've been doing because I can't get her out of the kennel because it's too awkward. And anyway, so Phoenix is up now trying to coax her out because we got her out yesterday, just fine.
Yeah.
She peed but didn't do much else. The good news is that she's eating, which is good.
Oh,
If she wasn't eating, then I'd be a lot more worried.
Yeah.
But she's still eating and getting her meds. But yeah, we may need to augment the pain medication a little bit.
Right.
Just to get something maybe a little bit stronger just for these first week. So that she can kind of be up and be like, okay. The problem there is that she gets pretty dopey if they give her something. They give her something called tramadol, which is more of an opiate kind of thing.
Tramadol. It's tramadol down her
throat. So there's a risk there in like her just being kind of a little loopy and maybe getting disoriented and nauseous.
Right.
So that's a thing. But I mean, this is all part of the recovery thing. Like, I mean, I was half expecting to wake up this morning to like a pile of poop in her kennel, and I was almost hoping for it. You know what I mean? I'm almost hoping for it. Like, I don't want to clean up poop, but I mean, cleaning up poop is part of being with a dog.
Yeah.
And if I had to clean up, if she, eliminated all over her kennel, I'd be like, good girl.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that again. But geez, thank goodness for getting it out of there. So it's, I mean, again, we're incredibly fortunate to be able to, afford this. And I say afford with two big quotation marks around it because it hurts a bit.
Yeah.
We're trying to save
Not
up for
something you were counting on.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
But I mean, you got to make allowances for it. But I mean, like it's we're trying to buy a house and all that stuff, so that puts a little dent in some of the savings. But it's that's how it is.
Right.
And I remember talking to an older lady from one of the communities and one of my customers, and I was just like, oh, I'm taking my dog down. So she's like, why? I was like, oh, for surgery. She's like, on a dog? I'm like, yeah. And it's just kind of a different perspective. It's just like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's just like, yeah, I'm going to take my dog down. And she wasn't heartless about it. She was just like, oh, that seems unnecessary. Like if a dog's got a limp, then it's just, that dog's got a limp now.
That dog's done.
That dog's limping. But yeah, it was funny. She was very funny about it, but and then very sweet. She's like, okay, well, I hope she's okay. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But her initial reaction, and that's, I mean, some older school people are like that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Some older school people would be like $7,000 on the dog. Just put it down.
Yeah,
you know. What I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, coming from rural Manitoba, where barn cats are still a thing.
Yeah,
if I had a cat and it needed to get surgery on something, and I told a certain person from Manitoba, they'd be like, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
It's basically a scavenger.
It's basically a rat.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the dogs have evolved to kind of look at you in a way that you're like, well, I can't do that. And you've seen Betty's face.
Yeah,
she is not a pack dog. She is not a feral dog. She's not an outside dog for the most part.
She's a sucky dog.
She's a sucky little baby face. And so like I couldn't possibly imagine. Like, I mean, it's tough, and I feel like I don't know what it is. It's I don't feel bad about it. Obviously, I just feel like I've cried like 8 times this week just thinking about my dog.
Yeah.
And I mean that seems pretty normal.
Yeah.
But like just like I got her home and we were trying to get her up and just kind of went into the other room and just like was like, huh?
Yeah.
Get back out there.
Did you at least get to enjoy any of your time in Edmonton?
I did.
Yeah.
She was with the vets from Monday morning to Tuesday afternoon.
Right.
So I was a little I wanted to distract myself a little bit.
Yeah.
So I went to a movie and hung out with some friends. Actually went to a spoken word event.
Wow.
At this place called Spotlight Cabaret, which a friend of mine owns. It seems like one of the hottest new places on White Ave. It's this place where like they do improv, they do music reviews, they do dinner theater, they do all kinds of things. And this awesome place. It's a woman I worked with in dinner theater, and she's turned into basically a mogul. The little bumps on the ski hill. She's one of those.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. We actually, I picked up a friend of mine, and we weren't planning on this, but the spoken word night, I was like, well, I want to head down there. I want to see her, and I want to see her new place because I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
And she was like, I have an idea. So she pulled out she had these journals out from grade 1 and grade 2, and they had all these stories in them. And I was like, well, I guess we're talking about we're telling these that night. So we went up like last, and I told a couple of her stories, which were fantastic. And then she went up and told a story about her mom and sang a song. It was a really nice night.
And so they could that kind of thing could work too if you're doing like some kind of beat poetry. Like,
absolutely,
I like Batman. Batman is good.
I like Batman. Batman is good. Gotham City Joker. Okay, that's enough beat poetry for now. But Betty is. So we're going to the vet today. We're try to get her kind of a little bit more fixed up. But I mean, it's a long road ahead.
Yeah,
every week is something different. You just gotta. And there's just so much care that goes into it. It's not just the cost of the surgery; it's the care that comes afterwards.
Right?
Massaging. She's getting like massages and ice packs and heat ups and walking her a little bit and then bringing her back and giving her treats for going for like a 2-second walk and then massaging her legs and icing them down and it's all well and good. I mean, it's just it's there's a lot to do and not enough hours in the day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. So. Keeping her confined is like it's good that she's wanting to rest a lot because that's what she can do right now.
The elder you were talking to is just wincing and shaking her head. It's a dog.
It's a dog.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Dead North kicked off last night, and there was a red carpet event, in fact, and Ollie was there in the midst of it. Did I see some? Did you have an injury last night? It seems to have cleared up.
These are cleared up all right. Yeah,
that's good.
Little overnight treatment. Amazing what Stanton's overnight shift can do when you give him a little bit of time and space.
Yes, that's absolutely right. So, how was it last night? Yeah, we got some great picks from it. I mean, you got a couple interviews in. You interviewed K-Mac himself.
Yep, K-Mac himself.
So what's up? How was the first? How was the run-up to the first night?
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be in makeup, first of all. Thank you to Veronica Spears for that. She did a fantastic job on
She always does.
And AJ. So we got to be dressed up a little bit for this one. You will see the video a little bit later on today on our Facebook page.
Very nice.
And it's just such a fun atmosphere because all the pressure's kind of off a little bit. Especially, I don't know, maybe it's different for people who've made the movies and they're coming in and they're all nervous to see how people react to it. I do remember when I had edited movies that were in Dead North, I would go and sit there and just be in a state of panic.
Yes.
Because, of course, like if the edit's wrong,
yeah,
it's my fault.
It is your
everybody else. Like, if you acted in it, I can understand being nervous about what the audience might think of your portrayal of the character.
Yeah.
If you're the director, I can understand that people might be you might be nervous about how you put it all together, like your vision that you had. But as the editor, the nerves that it's very technical. If I've screwed this up, everybody's movie is going to be ruined. The people who are in it are going to hate me. The people who are watching it are going to hate me. The organizers are going to hate me. So I very much enjoyed last night just being able to rock around and interview other nervous-looking people and have some fun.
I feel like the people watching and the organizers would still just blame the director.
But the director
they made the choice to let you edit it. So really it's their fault.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you enabled me.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, you can't put it all on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. It was a really cool thing last night. There was a guy there from Cambridge Bay whose movie is in, and he'd flown in to see his movie being shown at Dead North.
Awesome.
That's cool. Like people from the South Slave were there with their movies as well. And there's a little downside. The industry minister was a little late because meetings were going on at the legislature. Which was a shame because, I had such a great lineup.
You did. You really did.
I was so excited for Katrina Knockleby to turn up. We were going to do a little interview with her on the red carpet. I had everything prepared. I was going to launch it. I was going to say, so, Minister, speaking of Dead North, how about that economic forecast?
That's why she didn't show up. She knew you were going to hit her with that.
I was ready to go.
A little bit of
don't worry, Minister, there's a different horror story tonight. Go take a seat.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it would have been great.
That gotcha journalism will get you.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that people being nervous about their portrayals of characters, Lekter gave a look. I think he's. Welcome to Thunderdome's premieres tonight. It's the last movie of the night.
17,000 residents in it.
17,000 residents, everyone in Yellowknife in this movie.
Yep.
And it's an odd one.
Everything about it makes me nervous.
I'm very much looking forward to the reaction to it. But I mean, like I got tickets to the late one, so I mean, Good Lord. I've got rehearsal before, and then I go into the late one. It's not going to air until it's not going to go until midnight. So, are you going tonight?
You're going to be there tonight?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I thought you weren't going to be there.
I'm going to be there. Are you going to the late?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got friends.
Oh, thank God. I've got
goodness.
Chad with me.
And then I've got Mobsters, which is on Saturday, and I'm seeing the late show of that one as well. So
Nice.
Yeah, a couple of movies in. Very much looking forward to it. I usually make a point of not watching anything I do. There's still stuff I've done from my professional career that I have not watched, and I refuse to. So there you go.
Really? And you're never going to watch
Never.
it? You're making
there's
a point.
there's no point. I don't care.
Huh.
I'm like, nah, I'm good.
I could see it in the time, but as time passes,
Maybe.
you wouldn't want to go back and
No.
just be like, where was I?
No, I don't
back,
care. I don't care.
in those days.
I don't care.
No. Okay.
So Dead North kicked off last night. It goes for the next 2 nights. I did notice that Saturday late night showings, according to the Dead North website, yesterday, still 110 tickets left for late night Saturday. So there you go. And of course, if you're up for a zombie or whatever, you'll get invited to the ceremony. I have not gotten my invite, therefore I don't think I'm winning a zombie. Huh.
No.
What do you know?
No invites for Brad and Chad.
No invites for Brad and Chad.
Imagine that.
What do you know?
How mad and sad
Mad and sad
for Brad and Chad.
for Brad and Chad, who are a little glad.
And all
But you
bad.
were quite bad, yes.
Oh, yes, we're
Yeah.
quite bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go to deadnorth.ca if you want to pick up some of those late night tickets for tomorrow. That showing starts at 9:30 or 9:50 or something like that. So it goes pretty late, but I mean, it's a nice thing to do on your Saturday, and there's going to be plenty of awesome movies. And get more information at deadnorth.ca. It runs all weekend.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
I got to get out of here, so I'm going to do one last thing before we go. Just do a little what's going on this weekend. Of course, we know that Dead North kicked off last night, so you got 2 more nights of that, plus a Sunday Melt Your Brain screening. There may be some still tickets available for those showings, and that's like a 5-hour slog. Not a slog. A 5-hour sit through all the movies.
Marathon.
That's a marathon. That's the word I was looking for. Although, to me, a real marathon sounds like a slog. So, there you go.
Fair enough.
So go
yeah.
to deadnorth.ca to find tickets about that. I know there's tickets for the late night Saturday show, and there may be some for the Sunday Brain Melter as well. Also, tomorrow, kicking off, Snow King at 25. The Winter Festival kicks off tomorrow, grand opening at noon with the YKDFN drummers. Of course, what a way to start any event here in the city. And then 1:30 Calumet Dene School presents a fabulous fairy tale. 3 p.m. Calgary Girls Choir, and 4 p.m. Nara. And then 8 p.m. it's the Shiver and Shake with Motherhood, featuring the debut of Great Bear, the newest band in Yellowknife, with Counselor Julian Morse, Baby Brian's in there, and other people. I don't know who else is in it.
It's a banner year for milestone years for festivals and events here in Yellowknife.
It is.
Yeah, the 10th year of Dead North,
Yep.
25 years of Snow King Festival, and then this summer, the 40th anniversary of Folk on the Rocks.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Now, we can't say anything because we don't know anything. But we do know that there will be an announcement coming very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. Can I say when it's coming? Yes. Yay! March 5th, you'll get your first taste of what's coming to Folk on the Rocks 40th anniversary. I don't have the list. I told Ollie I can't be trusted with the list. So he's going to give it to me the morning of.
He agreed.
He
wholeheartedly.
agreed wholeheartedly. Actually said, before you even said anything, I wasn't going to give it to you. So, there you go. But I do know one, and I'm not going to say a thing.
No, not going to say a thing.
Not going to say a thing.
It is very exciting.
It's
though.
very exciting. We're very excited. So, March 5th, you'll know. And we will tell you. Okay. Also, going on this weekend, chock full this weekend. Also, Bella Beats Winter Showcase at NAC. One-day event. There's 2 showings, though. There's two shows, one at 1 and one at 7 tomorrow at the NAC. So go to nacnt.ca for that. This is how they, raise funds to do their travels, do their training. They have, great choreographers come up to teach them new dances and choreograph some of their pieces. Tara Jean Popovich, who, if you are a fan of So You Think You Can Dance, you know who Tara Jean is. Kristen Russell from World of Dance and Kim Ganter from Knowledge Dance Academy, as well as the local instructors get together with these kids, and they work for months. They work so hard And so this is how they raise funds to go down to these competitions and just to provide for their dance needs here in the city as well. So the Bella Beats, the only competitive dance troupe in the entire territory, having their winter showcase tomorrow. So if you're looking for something to do, watch some very talented kids, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be at the 7 o'clock because I got to work during the day.
And then next week, the NACA Festival.
Yeah.
Going on all week.
NACA.
Pat Kane made made a little joke on his Facebook the other day. It's like something about, there's like a lot of space between Christmas and the end of February where it's like, nothing's going on. Let's just do everything in a 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 365 days a year, plenty of time for that. Nope, 2 weeks.
Yeah. Just cram it all in
Get
there.
it in there.
But very exciting.
All right. And you can follow us, obviously, on our Facebook page, and we'll be talking about it through these festivals. Obviously, through Snow King, we're going to be heavily involved with them, and we'll tell you about anything that's going on locally. And if you have something that you want us to talk about, you let us know, all right? And then we'll decide whether it's worth it.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Have you got particularly cool buttocks today?
No, it's a regular temperature buttocks, I would say.
Okay, because you've moved chairs, and now you're over in Wheeler's, master chair.
Now, how's that one feeling?
I've lived into your chair. It's ice cold.
Really?
I'm intrigued as to what has been going on because I sat down in it and I always thought it was wet to start with. I was like, oh, what's happened here? This is going to be awkward. How do I bring this up with Lekter? And then
I'm glad it's not wet.
And then I checked it and no, it's just a really cold chair. I'm intrigued as to what's been going on. My chair that I'm working in out in the main office is toasty and warm.
Yeah.
This one is like an icicle over here.
I'm feeling my butt as we speak, and it feels pretty normal.
Feels pretty, lukewarm.
Yeah. Yeah, lukewarm butt.
All right. Well, there you go.
Well, I apologize for that. Yeah, usually that's one of the few joys of sitting in a seat that's already been sat in, is you get a little seat warmer.
Honestly, it was quite refreshing.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's like this morning I went down to check out what was going on Franklin Avenue at about 6:15.
Right.
And it was really quite windy this morning.
Yeah.
And I was just in a hoodie because I was intending just hopping out the vehicle and walking straight into work.
Right.
So I walked down there, and after about 5 minutes, pretty icy.
Yeah.
Having walked around the scene and tried to figure everything out, got back in the office and was like, now I am officially wide awake. Like, that has absolutely shrugged off any of the last remaining fog of the night.
It's the only thing that wakes me up every morning is walking to work.
Yeah.
I don't wake up early enough to have a coffee before work. Like, perish the thought. So yeah, walking to work and have snow just blowing in my face. Just wakes you up so nice.
Good old bracing Yellowknife.
So yesterday, as we talked about on the morning show and discovered that we knew nothing about her in 9 months, it was Emily's last day here at Cabin Radio. So we all went to the Woodyard last night for a little celebration, a little send-off. I noticed this morning, though, she has published a story on cabinradio.ca after her last day. I just assumed that you had written it. Then I saw the byline with Emily Peacock there, and I was like, are we going to have to literally grab her by the ankles and just like pull her out the door? She's just gripping onto the door frame for dear life. Like, what's going on here? Why is she still working?
She just keeps on giving. What do you want from me? I think she finished off that one yesterday. It's all right. I published it on her behalf.
Okay.
She hasn't snuck in under cover of darkness. But again, it's a great story. It's a typical Emily story. It's well researched. It's well written. There's a range of voices in it, and it tells an important story about something that strikes to is something that's very dear to a lot of people, which is in this case a new program to help caregivers for people who are either getting on a bit or they need some help with a disability. And the idea is that often it falls on family members or friends to care for people in that situation, and they often have to take time out from ways that they would otherwise be earning their own money to go and help somebody else. This program provides them essentially paid employment for up to a few hours each week to go and help out family or friends and make sure that they're being looked after, which makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so it's getting a really warm welcome. And yeah, this is exactly the kind of story that Emily is great at telling, finding out what's going on. And she's great at finding stories where there is good as well as bad going on. As journalists, we can be very tempted to just cover the bad stuff.
Right.
And only ever talk about, that's on fire, that's falling down, we've overspent on that. That minister doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, while the opportunities are many to run most of those stories, it's refreshing, and I think it's important to run the stories where things are going right.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it's a really good news report. It is an example of why she will be sadly missed. I'm a little gutted to be losing her. She's great.
Conversely, I think it's probably also tempting to just run stories about puppies and kittens and things that people will like. And she's done a very good job to resist just falling into that trap as well. And doing very balanced journalism and just an incredible job she's done.
Although she was, of course, yesterday filming with kittens and puppies.
Yeah,
we should clarify that the last thing that she did for Cabin Radio was go and film with kittens and puppies, and that pet project video will be available later on. Going to be a busy day for video, actually. In the next hour, we've got a video tribute to ski coach Stephen Dunbar, who's heading to the Arctic Winter Games. NWT Nunavut Lotteries have teamed up with us to say thanks to all the coaches going to the Arctic Winter Games. So we got a little profile of the ski team and Stephen. That's heading out in about half an hour's time. Then we got the Dead North red carpet video coming up a little bit later on this morning. Get to check out the scenes from Dead North's grand opening last night. And then, Emily's grand finale, hugging, no doubt, a black cat down at the SPCA, because she has a thing for black cats. 2 black cats, well, 3 technically, have made their way into her life in the last 9 months alone. And I'll be fascinated to watch the video later and see if maybe a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th black cat managed to argue their way into Emily's life. She's borrowing my truck tomorrow to just do a little bit of furniture dropping off to people who she sold furniture to. Okay. And I did wonder whether she was borrowing the truck to load up black cats from the SPCA. Just like,
I'll just take all of these. All right. Okay. And we're ready to head out now.
Yeah. Emily and her posse.
Yeah, that's right. So we had a lot of fun down at the Woodyard last night, the whole crew and Nicole taking care of us. And it was funny when we arrived. So I arrived like just after 7 o'clock, and I had sent Emily a message earlier in the day just because, I wasn't sure if maybe we should make a reservation or if we should just, show up. I didn't really have a sense of how many people were coming. I thought maybe like 5 or 6. So I sent her a message seeing if she knew how many people were coming, and she was like, I think like pretty much the office crew and Sam, so like, 6 or 7. And it's like, okay, I don't know. That shouldn't be too bad. So I just let it ride. We got there. I got there. Sarah was already there. I was the second person there. And then Shannon came through the door. And when I told Shannon that we were waiting and we didn't have a reservation, the look on her face. She's like, we don't have a What is happening here? I think we really messed with her brain at first. She's all about organization. She's all about planning, and that's just not always the way the Cabin Radio crew operates. Certainly in casual settings, we tend to throw planning out the window,
which is scary for Plan and Shannon.
But we ended up making it in not too bad. The Woodyard's just been crazy busy lately.
It's funny you should mention that, because last night I was, of course, on the Dead North red carpet. Megan Wahlberg, who's one of the organizers, was there chatting away to her. She's like, oh, you guys are going to the Woodyard later. Well, that's great, because that's where we're going to have our big after party tonight from like 9:30. Yeah, we've got them to block off like the whole top of the Woodyard for it. And so I heard that. I was like, oh, I wonder when they're blocking that off from, because if there's like 5 tables to choose from at the Woodyard and we're planning on holding a going away party there's going to be a scrap.
Yeah, I think we got out of there just in time. And I also learned a valuable lesson that $100 just doesn't go as far as it used to. We were leaving, we were all saying goodbye, giving Emily hugs, and she says to me, she's like, I have a gift card. So, don't pay your bill. Like it should cover the rest. And it's fine. And I was like, not going to argue with you, Emily. Sure. If you want to pay for my couple beers and meal, okay, I'll take it. So I go home, and Nicole gets home later that night. She says, I think you might owe AJ lunch. He got kind of stuck with a little bit of the bill there. So AJ, once you get in, we'll work it out, and we'll buy you some lunch today.
Back in your day, of course, couple of brews and a meal would have cost you what?
That was like $13.
There you go.
Yeah.
Times they are changing.
But big thank you to the Woodyard crew for taking care of us last night, and we're gonna miss Emily.
Yeah,
man, we are going to miss her. But
there's like 8 news stories I need writing today. If anybody wants to come in and volunteer, just saying.
I hope she's not listening, because honestly, she will come in.
Yeah, seriously, Emily, come on in. Come back. Look, we kept your desk warm and everything. Well, apart from this seat, this is weirdly cold.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.